The sport of climbing is changing. Nowadays, you don't have to grow up in the mountains to be introduced to climbing at a young age.
There's new gyms opening up everywhere.
Climbing's becoming more mainstream.
I have holes here I can use to climb the wall.
The first woman to tackle one of the world's toughest climbs.
You see it on TV now all the time.
Megan Martin. Oh, she started!
Climbing is more popular than ever.
And more kids are getting into it.
Kids are really naturally born climbers.
It's the young mind. Everything's possible for these kids. There's no limit.
The kids these days are doing serious training.
You have your coaches and your team practices, really intense climbing programs.
We start kids at an early age, fortifying their tendons.
Training early, it makes you ridiculously strong.
It's just mind-blowing to see these kids doing the craziest things. It's humbling, for sure.
It's hard to keep up because they're just insanely strong.
And they just keep getting younger.
And younger.
And younger.
Yeah, nice, Ellie. That one there, good job. The young guns nowadays, they're just like these adorable little mutants. They're smiley and then they crush your project. It's great.
Hi, everybody, we're Rock. This is Kai.
My name is Ashima, and I'm 14 years old.
Ashima and Kai, they are two kids that are leading this generation.
They're great kids, super psyched, and they have so much potential.
Kai came onto the competition scene a few years ago.
Kyle Leitner making it happen.
At 15 years old, he already was a sport climbing national champion, just killing it left and right.
Although climbing wasn't something that I thought was a normal sport, I kind of went with it because that's what he liked to do.
The goal for me in climbing in general is just to push my limits. I grew up in the gym. However, I really want to start going outside more and climbing outside. Just a whole different world that I can't wait to explore.
Ashima is a climbing phenom.
I think Ashima is probably the most exceptional climber we've ever seen.
It's amazing watching Ashima climb. Her climbing IQ and the way she moves is so intuitive. It's like she was born to climb.
今までアシマが6歳でクライミングを始めて 100% こう自分を飛び込んでいってクライミングしてた。ずーっとまっすぐに上がってきたんだけど。
My dream is to climb the hardest routes out there. I want to make history and become the best climber in the world.
In 2014, Kai and Ashima were invited to the Ring of Fire competition.
Kai and I were the youngest competitors. All these national champions were there, like Daniel Wood, Delaney Miller.
Ashima Shirashi.
I was able to win. And Kai also won.
Kay Lайтнер.
I think it was a real surprise when you had 13 and 14-year-old walk away with first place.
After we both won, we just decided we'd swap numbers, and we've been good friends ever since.
Kai and Ashima represent the future of climbing, and the question is, where are they going to take it?
Kai and I, we have our summer vacation at the same time, and I heard about this crazy cave in Flatanger, Norway, with all these really hard routes to try. It's not the numbers that matter, but of course, I wouldn't mind doing a 5:15 either.
Norway is absolutely beautiful. It's just rock everywhere. It's gonna be really cool to try something different and hopefully have a little bit of fun. Hey.
Hey, what do you think?
Amazing, but I kind of need help.
Got the news that Ashima and Kai was coming, and we were like, whoa, they are elite climbers, but they are like really young. People need a lot of time to adjust to this climbing style.
Come on.
No! Oh, man! That's not possible!
Maybe they have to get completely shut down. It's gonna be like really interesting to see.
Kai's on his first route called Piece of Cake. It's a good name for a warm-up route.
Come on, Kai. Piece of cake is basically the easiest climb in the whole cave.
What the heck?
Kai completely slipped. And pretty sure he got a minor injury.
That really hurt my finger. I broke a nail on my first problem.
Yeah, it was definitely a rough start for Kai.
Ashima, she has a lot more experience than me on a rock. Watching her climb is really impressive to see and inspires me to push my limits.
I've never been to a cave like that before. You have to climb upside down for 160 feet long. The rock has these crazy features. You have to grab on with your feet, like an extra pair of hands. Normally, you just climb up, but in this cave, you can get really disoriented because you don't know which way's up. Sometimes you go with your feet first. You basically do 360s.
Ashima is just mind-blowing to watch. She just naturally grasps how to do the moves. Doesn't seem to get tired. She just makes it look easy. And you kind of forget that you're watching this 14-year-old girl.
Nice. Yeah.
Yay.
Ooh, nice job.
So long.
Then she comes down and suddenly it's like this tiny little one.
This is the longest route I've ever done, or even tried. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, it looks fun. But what's confusing me is I don't see the clips.
When it comes to outdoor climbing, Kai is a newbie, so I had to teach him a few things.
It's really hard to find like the holds on the routes because the rock is gray and white, and so you can't tell by any like chalk marks. Purple tape will help, just like the gym.
You can get like a finger lock in one of them. Yeah. Once I got the underclings, my toe hook's like gone because I can't reach it. But you might be able to, yeah.
I've never climbed on this kind of rock before or this kind of environment. But climbing is climbing, and regardless of where it is, I just try to have fun. That one was fun, though. I liked it.
After a few days, it was really fun to watch Kai find his flow on the hard climbs there. His climbing style is really like smooth and relaxed. It almost looks like he's not even trying.
Nice job, Kai.
I'm definitely enjoying outdoor climbing, but I'm kind of outside of my comfort zone.
Kai is a gym rat. I definitely would not call him an outdoorsman.
I used to think that outdoor climbing was for crazy hippie people that would live out their vans to be nasty and wouldn't shower, brush their teeth. I like a bed, I like heat, I like a shower.
The new generation, this is it.
It's not a lot of rock climbers come out of Fayetteville, North Carolina.
The community that I grew up in, that rock climbing lifestyle is perceived as completely out there.
But you're good, you're young, son, you got a whole life ahead of you.
Climbing on mountains, it's not something that's popular at all in the community. His friends thought he was a little wacko.
Most people are focused more on like conventional sports like football, basketball. Basketball would have never worked out. I've always had a hard time with coordination. I couldn't play basketball if I wanted to because I would trip over the ball.
He has horizontal problems.
I definitely feel much more in control when I'm climbing. Like almost like my body speaks to me when I climb, and I just know where to go or what to do in order to reach the next hold. Me and my mom are really close. She raised me as a single mom.
I was born in inner city Cleveland, Ohio. My mom really pushed education. That was the way that we were able to get out of poverty. With Kai, I do the same. Even though Kai is really into rock climbing, our deal has always been do well in school. He's on track to be valedictorian of his class.
Can I get your autograph?
Climbing's probably a secondary thing when it comes to a career choice. I have just other dreams and aspirations that are outside of climbing. I really enjoy math and been on the debate team. Maybe even I want to be a lawyer one day.
It could definitely be a struggle sometimes doing my math homework while I'm driving to the climbing gym.
I'm a professor. I teach statistics, and it gets a little tough to have a full-time job and travel around the U.S. or abroad.
I should get a business card. ATM, chauffeur, and belay bitch.
But I think that there are so many skills that he learned in rock climbing that translates to so many other things in life in general. It's totally worth it. Kai. Hey, you ready to get up? Come on, kid. Come on, we gotta get up and start our day. Come on. Shorts on backwards. Oh. Norway has smacked him around a little bit, but he realizes he has to be stronger, he has to be tougher in a lot of ways.
Nice, smooth, Kai. Looking good, man. Come on, Kai. It's like... Good, Kai. Come on, you know how to finish it up. Come on, Kai.
I just sent Muy Verde.
Nice, Kai.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited about it.
Nice climb. After a few days, I began trying Thor's hammer. It's a 515A put up by Adam Andra. And it had never been repeated. A lot of the holds are really far apart. Adam's over 6 feet tall.
Come on.
And I'm just over 5 feet.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just have to do a huge jump.
Nice, Ashima.
I tried it for a few days, and eventually I figured out the sequence that would work for me.
Dude, look at that.
Nice.
I started to get excited because if I did it, it would be the hardest climb ever done by a woman.
Come on.
My name is Liz Weil, and I'm writing a profile of Ashima. She's amazing. She's maybe the best woman climber in the world, but at the same time, you know, she lives at home with her parents, and she just finished 8th grade. I think that her life is really interesting.
I grew up in New York City, and my parents came here before I was born. They both went to a fashion school in Japan. My dad, he used to be a Buto dancer. He had this dance company called Popo and the Go-Go Boys. My mom would make all the costumes for the whole group. They're definitely a big part of the downtown New York artsy scene.
This is Washington Square Park, 1978. East Village like garbage. Lot of homeless, empty building, drug dealer. This is big motivation for my dance style. This is Life magazine, 1985. That time, dancing very important for me. Now, more my energy used for Ashima. Yeah.
My dad doesn't climb, but from his experience with dancing, tells me how to concentrate.
Climbing is sports, but I feel when Ashima climbing, not only physical things, that is more mentally art.
My mom, she makes all my climbing pants. They're very vibrant, so it makes me really stand out on the wall and makes me unique.
This is the most newest our idea, rainbow pants coming soon.
Ashima's success, it's a family affair. There is one goal and one goal only, and that's for Ashima to be the best climber in the world.
Come on, Ashima. Come on, Ashima.
Since Ashima was 9 years old, she's been setting new records.
When I was 9, I did my first 312.
It was astonishing.
The next year, I did 313.
Crazy.
When I was 11 years old, I did 2 514Cs. And then last year, I did a V14.
She's the youngest person to climb all those grades. It's like every time she has a break from school, she's setting a new world record.
I went to Spain to climb in Kushima to learn more about climbing longer routes. I've always looked up to Chris because he's a legend. And someday I want to become a legend like him.
She's, without a doubt, the most gifted climber I've ever seen.
I did this route that's a 514D or 515A.
Nice. Nice. That was awesome, huh?
Some people disagree with the grade, but it was definitely my hardest route yet.
Ashima Shirashii scaled one of the toughest rock faces on the planet.
Now she's just blowing up.
Climbing's media darling.
One of the best rock climbers in the world.
You don't get scared up here?
No. Are you?
I am.
Ashima Shirashii.
The whole world has their eye on her.
Thank you.
What is she gonna be able to do?
Can she just keep stepping it up?
As a young athlete with so much potential, there are a lot of expectations.
You're a professional climber now, well done. So what are some of your goals coming up?
On every trip I go on, people expect me to climb something that's like groundbreaking. I mean, it's motivating to have some pressure.
日本帰って卵かけご飯か。
ニューヨークシティもなんかああいうシティだから、いろんなお店とかあるけど。But sometimes it's pretty stressful. Thor's Hammer is the hardest climb that I've ever tried. I was a bit nervous because once I believe that I can do it, I have expectations. It's sort of nerve-wracking.
Come on, Ashima. You got this.
I felt really good, and I knew that if I just kept it together and focused, I can do the climb.
Nice, Ashima. Come on, you got this. Come on, Ashima. Come on, Ashima. Come on.
By the end of the trip, I was just getting shut down by it. I didn't know why I couldn't do it, so I was really frustrated. Just really disappointed in myself. But I guess it's just a part of climbing.
Kai and Ashima are very strongly driven, but they're learning that sometimes in life you have to roll with the punches, that sometimes you win and sometimes you learn.
Norway was definitely an eye-opening experience. I've learned a lot of things here and I've had a lot of fun, especially hanging out with Ashima. It lit a fire in me to venture more outdoors and try some harder climbs.
It's time to go back home, but I'm definitely excited to keep on climbing and see what I can do.
It's been 8 months since we went to Norway. I've recently turned 16. I'm 3 inches taller. I also have braces. See, I got my driver's license.
Kai is taking classes at the community college and his high school. I think that the rock climbing achievements are really awesome, but I think that that 4.85 GPA is even better. That's longevity. That's something that I'm really proud about.
I do a lot of events with Boys and Girls Club. You should always pursue your goals regardless of what everyone else around you thinks of it. Whether they think it's stupid or whether they think that you don't belong there. I definitely want to be seen as a role model and hopefully motivate the next generation.
Almost there. I see a lot of myself when I see them getting into climbing. I'm supposed to be inspiring the kids, but the kids inspire me too.
Norway was the first time I've gone on a trip and I didn't achieve my big goal. And then a few months ago, on my Christmas vacation, I went to Japan to try this climb called Horizon. It's this massive horizontal roof done by Daiko Yamada, and the ending is the hardest moves. I really wanted to do the climb, but on my very last day, I just slipped off of it 3 times. It was so devastating. Norway and Japan really shut me down. I'd never really experienced that much failure.
そこで初めてアシマがすごくフラストレーション。This time she's very upset.
If you're a kid who's always been the best, there comes this point of like losing for the first time. It's a really hard transition for a lot of athletes. Not everyone makes it.
Ashima is trying some of the hardest routes and boulder problems in the world. Pushing our limits takes learning to accept and live with failure. Those are the moments that teach us so much about who we are, about climbing, and about life.
Failure is a huge part of climbing, and I know that if I want to climb the hardest routes out there, I have to have perseverance and not give up. Since my first trip, I think about Horizon all the time. Now I'm back for revenge. The bottom is pretty tough, and you can't really rest throughout the whole climb, which is hard. A lot of the holds were red. You get a little bit nervous, and some of the doubts get into my head. But I told myself that even though I had some bad conditions, I had to do it now. It was my chance. You cross into a small crimp, and then you go into the crux section of the climb.
Come on.
You have to cut your feet on some bad holds.
Come on.
weave your foot over your head and under your arm, just clamping your feet together so you can release your hand.
Come on!
Go into a small crack and then cross to the crux finger lock that's always wet.
Come on! Yeah. Come on!
I heard my dad and Kiyoshi screaming, "Come on, Gamba!" I just felt so much energy from them, and it felt like I just couldn't let go.
Come on! Come on! Come on, Ashima! Come on! Come on!
That's it.
Come on! Come on!
Yeah.
Come on! Come on!
That's it.
Come on! Come on, Ashima!
Yeah. All right.
And that's when I did it.
Wow. Nice. Good job.
Big shot.
Are those all for you?
I don't wanna listen, I don't wanna reason, 'cause I don't wanna waste my time. It's a teen dream shaking up every other season, and I only